You are about to be told a story, and in order to understand and experience this story to its fullest, I will need you to close your eyes. So now take a deep breath in and calm your mind, your body, and your spirit. In, out. Now close your eyes. And imagine you're in a room. No doors, no windows, no lights, no nothing. But there still is light in this room. It is very bright, but there is no light source that you can see, almost like you're in a white void of some sort. It feels fine in there, and you can't tell that there are walls in there. It just looks like an endless expanse that you could walk around in. And you hear a calm and gentle voice when you do start to get up and walk around, and it tells you to stand still and listen for a moment. You ask it why, and it says it's for your own good. There's a cliff, and if you go too far in any direction, then you could fall off this cliff. And you realize, yeah, this guy must be right. So you stay in your little area, and you're somewhat happy and calm and content there. You don't really have joy or peace too much, but you have no other choice. The voice did say that if you go too far, you will eventually fall. But then you think, wait, if there really is a cliff, then could I not go and look over it without falling? The voice never said anything about not going near the cliff, so that's exactly what you do. You slowly go over to the cliff, and the voice comes back and calmly tells you to step back or you will fall. And so you say, I'm being careful. I'm just going to look over the cliff and make sure it's there. And the voice yells at you to step back, but you don't listen. You don't fully trust it. You need to see this so-called cliff for yourself. You can't just sit there and do nothing and believe this random voice that there is a cliff until you see it, right? So then this voice just gives up and stops yelling at you and telling you to turn back. So you slowly start to creep along the floor of this white void, and then all of a sudden, you see a little discrepancy in the bright white void around you. And you have gone a pretty good distance from the little spot that the voice told you to stay in. And you still are wondering where this cliff is, but your mind now focuses on this spot, this slightly gray discrepancy in the perfection of the bright white expanse that you're wandering around in. You then all of a sudden come to an edge, and your toe just barely hits the edge of the cliff. And you stop. The voice comes back and calmly, but still with a little tiny bit of frustration in their voice, says, I told you there was a cliff, now come back. And you almost believe it and come back like it wants you to. But you notice that there is a slight discoloration in where the cliff drops off, to where you can tell it's a cliff. And you see something that looks like a bridge of just plain white, not that slight discoloration where the cliff drops off. And it looks like it leads you to that gray spot that you noticed just seconds ago. And so you get curious. You decide to see if this is actually a bridge. So you kneel down and touch it with your hand. It's solid, this white bridge. But the voice comes back and says, that is not where you're supposed to go. That is not for you. Come back. So you decide to not listen to this voice, and you take a step onto the bridge, and it's all fine. You make it onto the bridge, and the voice just says, okay, fine. You made it. Cross the bridge. I dare you. But you will not like what is on the other side. As if this voice still wanted you to come back. So you ignore it again, and you walk across that bridge toward the gray spot. And the bridge has no railings, nothing fancy, just the straight path through this pit of sorts. And as you get closer to this gray spot, it gets bigger. And you notice that it starts to turn into a rectangular, almost door shape. And then you notice another dot on it, a doorknob. But this door is dark and black and has a big warning sign on it, a big red warning sign. You can't read what it says, but it says a lot. It's like a whole paragraph, and you can tell that it is some sort of warning. So you decide to open the door. And what do you find on the other side? Well, mainly, that's up to you. But what I find on the other side of this door is freedom. For myself and potentially those around me, I find an open field with cows and a river and bees that make the best honey I've ever tasted and produce the best milk I've ever drank, and a forest with beautiful trees and just so much more nature. But there are also other doors, more doors in this field that I walked into, more people stuck in these white rooms being told it is where they should be and where they are meant to be by this random voice that I don't even know where it came from or who it is or what it is. But what I do know for sure and for certain is that it was not there to help me become the best version of me and live a happy and joyous and peaceful and fulfilling life. It was there to keep me in this boring old plain white room being given just a little bit of happiness and calm from out of nowhere. Sure, my life may be challenging and hard in this wilderness, but at least I am doing something that actually matters, not sitting in this blank white room being dripped with dopamine and good feelings just a little bit to keep me entertained. Out here in this forest, I am experiencing life, not just living life. All right, you can open your eyes now. People nowadays just live in these soul-sucking voids, these white voids that seem like they're good, or at least that is how I see them. Watching my peers and my friends at school and my family living life as if this is how it is meant to be, and it is just sad. They are inside of these invisible walls that they never see, and they say that they're fully happy and secure and enjoying life. But let's be honest, they're probably not living life to the fullest. They're not experiencing life. They're fed comfort and calm just enough to stop asking questions. And they're fed cope just enough so they stop asking questions. And most people just blindly accept it, and they kind of like it. It's not bad. And some even defend this. But others, they just have that spark in them, that fire, that desire for more. And so they ask the questions. They get curious. They ask why they are taught in school in the ways that they are taught. Sitting in desks, rows of desks, just listening to their teacher talk at them and absorbing information and then spitting it all out onto a test. And they're all just waiting for the day to be done so they can go home and play Fortnite and relax. But right there is another way that they get you. They keep you busy all day at school or at work or even both, so that when you get home, you don't have the energy, the willpower to do more. You want to sit and do nothing and watch a movie or play video games. But there are those even fewer people who actually go through this black door and they actually do stuff. Everyone says, don't go, it's not safe, don't do it. You need to rest. You need to relax. You need to have time to yourself. And yes, they're right somewhat, but they take too much time for themselves so that their life stays in just one spot and they stay stuck. They think they're going somewhere, but really they're just staying stuck in the system. And you know what? You're kind of right all along. That moment of rebellion That moment when you step across that bridge and open that door and stay there is the moment when you start to truly experience life instead of just living it. The moment you start to turn into the real you, the best you, instead of the version they were trying to make you into. You woke up. But don't let them put you back to sleep. Don't let them get you back. Start asking more questions about everything. Start making yourself better in every single realm. Don't just go to the gym. Go to the gym and read books and start a business or do what you love. The real reason the voice lets you go across that bridge, through that door, the reason they even have that bridge and that door is because they need more people like them to continue what they are doing, to continue their legacy of keeping people under control. The elites, the government, the Jews, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to think of them as. They want you to become like them, but you don't want to become exactly like them, do you? You don't want to control people. You don't want to manipulate people. You want to help them. You would like to free them all if you could, right? But the sad reality is not all of them want to be freed. Not all of them want the life that you have, want the life that you want. Not all of them want to experience life. They just want to live life because that's how it's been the whole time for them. They want to stay comfortable in their little white void. And good for them. Let them stay there if they really want to. That is just fine. As long as they're happy or they think they're happy, then what else can you do? But now your mission should be to find others like you, like me, like us. Help others escape, and we can band together and become like the higher ups. Not the same as, but like. You don't want to control people. You want to save as many as you can and save yourself as well in the process. The door has just been opened for you. The path has been made clear. At least the beginning of the path has been made clear. So choose. Go into the wilderness and experience life, or stay in your little void. The path to heaven or the path to hell. And don't mistake your routine for reality. Comfort is not true freedom. It is a trap. You are meant to have some level of discomfort in your life most of the time. Yes, you can have comfort sometimes, but the problem is people have comfort too much or in the wrong way. You should be experiencing life, not living life. Go out and fail and win and crush and destroy and dominate and get crushed and destroyed. Experiencing life is experiencing the highs and the lows, not just staying in the middle. Yeah, I'm happy. You want to be saying, yes, I am happy with my life because there have been points where I am super happy at the top and points where I am down in the dumps at the bottom, but I always recover and go back to the top. Every change starts with one question, one action, and today it started with you clicking on this very video. And for the man in the white room, it started with questioning the authority of this random voice that he heard in this random white void that he's just in somehow. Question everything. Do your research always as well, so you can confirm the truth. If you made it this far in the video, you have that fire in you, that spark, that spirit, that curiosity, and you would fit in perfectly in our Discord server, first link in the description below. Now, this path is not for everyone. Keep that in mind. Only a select few will start on the path, and even fewer will make it to the end. Make sure to ask questions and better yourself continually in every single realm, or they will come and lure you back into that white void where you live a mediocre life, just drifting along. No high highs, no low lows, just in the middle. Just living life, not experiencing it. So choose a path. The path to heaven that feels like hell at times, or the path to hell that feels like heaven. This path or this path. Think for yourself. I love you, bro.